What's up?
So,
We're videoing now, I guess.
this is so
A
cool.
video podcast. But I'm Tavi. This is Jessica. This is the O.P.O.V podcast, episode 27. We finally getting the video off the ground, I guess.
Yeah,
All right, so what's going on? How's your week?
my week was good.
That's good.
It was busy, but good.
Very busy.
hmm
Had a birthday.
Yes, my daughter turned 7,
Okay.
so she got a new iPad.
She loves it. Goes everywhere with it.
Now I keep hearing, "Hey Siri, hey Siri," and then she's been calling people, so that's interesting.
Nothing wrong with that, though. Live and you learn, as long as she ain't doing nothing bad on there.
No, you know what I put on YouTube? I put restrictions on there. I don't necessarily know if it will restrict everything, but we'll see.
Well, congratulations to her turning the big 7.
So,
But that's good. Anything else happened this weekend? Just work.
yeah, just work and, I was running around on Friday. Her birthday was Friday, so I was running around kind of like a chicken with my head cut off.
Definitely.
Then I picked her up from school and got a little bouquet of balloons and met her at the office with the balloons, and she was all geeked up and felt really special. So, it's always nice to make your kids feel special,
Yeah. Then we got a long weekend, off Monday, holiday.
Hallelujah.
But I had a good week also. Didn't really do too much, but other than work. Was able to see the kids on, what was that, Thursday. So that was cool. But other than that, I was just working and making money, man. That's all there is to do. Try to stay out the way.
Yeah.
And caught up on a few shows,
I got caught up on Love After Lockup yesterday. And I watched Power this morning. So
I watched Power this morning.
Power was better this week. I'm still disappointed that they still have that wretched theme song.
That was funny. Everybody was trying to bet that it was going to be gone by this week.
It should have been.
They say it is a big rich town. So happy now.
Don't nobody want to hear Trey songs moaning and groaning on a song. I need
song,
Joe.
Man.
Where's Joe?
I'll keep my not comments, but as far as my grade to the review. So I'll wait till the review to give my grade. But
Okay.
Power, yeah, it was interesting though.
It was better this week to me.
Yeah. All I got to say about it is it was funny to see Ghost's face when he found out Tommy wasn't dead. That's hilarious.
Like Ghost, you're literally the only person who thinks Tommy's dead.
This boy with the tyrants. I killed Tommy. He's like, what? I just talked to him.
No, he leaves.
I just gave him an Uber.
And then Tariq called him like, "Hey, what happened? My dad thinks you're dead," or whatever. But yeah, we'll get into that during our review.
But yeah, Life After Lockup.
We're supposed to be doing a review on that too.
We are. I just miss my old cast, man.
Yeah.
I don't like these people too much.
I'm hoping that they'll grow on me, but there's probably a good 2 and a possible couples that I'm really interested in.
See, I'm not heavily invested into it. Don't feel like so. Since it's only like release season 3, I just hope they could keep my attention for me to come back for the next season.
Yeah.
Those reality shows, they lose my attention super fast.
Yeah.
But
it was so good last season.
It was. It seemed like every episode there was always some BS going on. one thing after another.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Other than that, what else is going
on? I know there was some stuff going, some shenanigans, more shenanigans going on with Trump. Didn't he say he wanted to buy Denmark or something?
Was it Denmark or was it
Finland? Somewhere.
No, it's neither. But it's one of those type of countries.
I swear it was one of them.
No,
I think you're lying.
No, it's not. I'm not lying. It's in that region though.
And I was just like, dude, like.
Oh my goodness! I apologize because I normally know crap like this, the stupid stuff that wasn't with that.
Go ahead.
I'll look it up.
Go ahead and do a fact check, and then
Finland.
we will see that I'm right, and it was Denmark.
No, it was neither.
And didn't he have something else he said about deportation? Like
they about to make it like to where they can stay in those concentration camps forever or something like that.
I don't know. I have to read up on it, and I hope that we'll be able to talk more about it next week. But it has something to do with people who were here, who were supposed to get deported, but if they were receiving medical treatment, their medical treatment was going to stop. And I was like, that's like super like inhumane, along with all the other inhumane stuff that he's doing. So I don't know. You got that new snazzy phone and you ain't managed to search for what he said about buying Denmark yet?
No, I'm surprised I didn't hear what you said. It just pop up.
Siri, did Trump try to buy Denmark? He has to get used to his new phone too, because
yeah,
I don't know. Somebody was cracking on me because I got a new phone, and they were like, "Oh, you're like only a decade behind."
It was great, man. So apologize to Denmark and Finland.
Sorry, Denmark and Finland.
Which all of them are beautiful countries, but
sure, but he's not gonna buy any of them.
Hopefully, we could get one of them. Hopefully, get some black people.
But I don't really believe that that's how it works with countries.
Yeah, you can't. I don't even think they're like a poor country. I think they're like a good country.
He's ridiculous.
He's trying to make his mark the wrong way.
He's made it clear.
He might mess around the window.
If he wins, like, I have no faith in this country. Like, we can't let him win. Like, this has been like literally the worst 3 years so far of our American lives. Like,
definitely not. That was like the most exaggerated thing ever. I feel like it was pretty bad during that Gulf War with the first Bush. I just remember.
How do you know? You weren't even old enough.
That's what I said. I remember times back then, but I think us as a family wasn't in good times. We were like real poor back then too. But
we're still real poor.
I mean, not that we were back then. But yeah, no, I remember back then. Trust and believe. I remember the Gulf War days.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of remember the Gulf War, but because that was in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then people were putting yellow ribbons on their doors and stuff like that. But we were really young. Yeah,
I think the economy. I know where we were at, Duquesne or wherever we was at. I just was like, it was bad. I don't know. Just feel like it was bad, way worse than what it is right now. But I don't know. And then people say around the 9/11 time, but I think I was too caught up in what was going on college-wise.
Yeah, I remember being in college, and I just remember, like, on 9/11 specifically, everybody being in a real panic because that was the first time we had ever had terrorism hit us on our land. Right. and people were, and then with the one that went, with the plane that went down in Somerset, that was not that far.
But it was crazy because it was multiple times and people didn't know if it was going to keep going on or not.
Because initially, I remember when I woke up, and it's just so funny because, you know, we're broke college students and we didn't have cable at the time. So when I get up in the morning at an 8 o'clock class, I turn the radio on. And on the radio, I heard them say that a plane had hit one of the Twin Towers in New York. And I was like, that's odd. But I thought it was an accident. But before I left out of the door, they said the second plane hit, and I'm like,
look, I remember
that definitely was not an accident.
Watching the Wayans brothers, and I was mad that they interrupted my Wayans brothers, and then I seen that second one happen. That was crazy.
Then it turns out when I went to my class, it was a poli-sci class, and I remember, I think I had Dr. Yamba. That was one of my favorite teachers. Shout out to Dr. Yamba. But near the end of class, I asked him what he thought about it, and he didn't even know anything about it. And it turns out that he had like a relative who worked in
one of the
Pentagon.
Oh, the Pentagon.
And so there was a secretary who came to the class, I guess, to tell him.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, like all of the classes for the university were closed for the day. Mm-hmm. And on my way to the student union, somebody had informed me that a plane went down in Somerset. And I'm like, we are under full attack. Like, and everybody was all scared of us. We're in the student union watching all of the TVs that are, you know, mounted up on the walls, trying to figure out what's going on. I'm calling my mom. And
is that the reason why they have marshals on every plane now, I guess?
I don't know. I didn't know they had marshals on every plane.
I thought they do now, because didn't they hijack on like plastic utensils or something like that? They might created like shivs out of it.
No. I don't know.
I can't remember back then.
I don't know.
But rest in peace to everybody that was lost on 9/11. I don't even know how we got there, but that was a big, that time sucked. That was like one of the suckiest times.
So what do you think about them saying the way that our government is allowing people coming in from our southern border to be treated? We are cultivating a crop of new terrorists with how we're treating these people.
I feel like it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, I'm not going to say, I mean, yeah, it's going to inspire people to become terrorists. I do believe that. I mean, there's some people that's on the edge of teeter-tot, and they don't know if they love America or hate it, and then this could swim to hate it. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like that's fair, because running a whole country, there's going to be, if you pull one way, the other side is going to be, you know what I mean?
No, the only reason why I can't say that I agree is because there's a certain way that you do things. Like,
I'm not saying it's right what they're doing, but I'm just saying if they didn't hear it from that side, then they will hear it from the other side.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to treating people in a humane manner, there shouldn't be anybody who's opposed to having people being treated in a humane manner. Like, there's no reason why.
That's because they're not looking at them as humans. They're looking at them as numbers.
Right. So even if you have people who are detained, there's no reason why they should be drinking out of toilets. Like, y'all not even providing a fresh water supply for them to drink. The sink's not working. Like, y'all not, like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get into, because I remember watching the one lady testify about them not having enough soap and toothpaste and toothbrushes. Like, y'all don't feel like these people want to maintain their dignity and keep themselves clean? Like, that's crazy. But yeah, I think we talked about this before, though. So
I think that also lets you know how much America thinks of Mexico.
Yeah, but a lot of the people coming over the border, I don't think that it's not just Mexico, right?
No, it's not whole. Ain't it the whole South America basically? That's what they be worried about, the drug cartels.
Right, right. So people are coming to try to seek asylum.
Yeah, but I think that just lets you know how much they always, even if a lot of those countries in South America uh, gross a lot of money. For America, North America always looked at it as like it looked like not even a stepchild, just almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Like when you hear about Venezuela and all those type of stuff with all the stuff that's going on down there, like we just turn our back towards it. But meanwhile, we created a lot of it. So I mean, it's and now that they trying to come and seek refuge, it's like no. But meanwhile, we created the mess down there with the whole drugs for guns crap that the CIA was doing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's why I like Snowfall.
I was gonna say this would be your segue into talking about Snowfall because it does outline
why these countries are almost like third world countries now that had so much product. Like a lot of these countries are like the regular citizens are living in poverty, but then the people that own the drug farms are like freaking billionaires. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the regular citizen probably can't even afford a week's worth of food.
But what about us? Like as far as the United States go, can you compare that to the situation where it's like 1% of the wealth is distributed among very few people versus everybody else?
That's true. That's true. I just look at it. I think if I lived in like New Orleans, Baton Rouge, or somewhere where the poverty just was like unbearable to look at, I probably would compare it to there. But since I never really was in those type of situations, the stuff that I see on TV in like the South American countries look way worse than what we going on here. But then when you watch Vice, there's stuff down in like South Carolina, like with the Geechee people that you look, the shit that they live in don't even look humane. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it all depends on where you live. And thank God we're not really exposed to it like that. But again, that's one of my passions, to try to be a humanitarian to help places like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, are you caught up on Snowfall yet?
No.
We can't even talk about Snowfall.
I told you I had a busy week.
But Snowfall is definitely the best show on TV. It was the best episode. I thank you guys for backing me up because it was the best episode this week.
And you know what else? Maybe I could try to watch some of it today since my daughter, she's going over her uncle's house to spend the night since they're off tomorrow for Labor Day. So maybe I can get some
quality time with the Fire Stick.
Yeah. Although she's been pretty occupied with the
her birthday shenanigans.
With her iPad. So I can hear her up there now screaming.
But what else to talk about? Let's talk about, what is her name? Was it Melanie Johnson?
The little girl?
Yeah, hopefully by the time we air this, someone has found her. But there was an Amber Alert out yesterday for Melanie Johnson, who was, you might know more about it than me.
I thought it was like Nalani or something.
It might be Nalani.
2-year-old girl.
Malani, I think, because I thought it was Melanie, just the way it was spelled. But let me see.
Well, it was a 2-year-old little girl. The father, well, according to what I read, allegedly, the father was getting out of the Uber and he got out first. And when he went to get the daughter out, the Uber driver drove off with the daughter still in the car. Authorities caught up with the Uber driver to question her. But she is saying that she doesn't know where the little girl is. So I don't like, everything about this story sounds kind of funny. Like two last people to see, according to the story that I read, the two last people to see the little girl were the father and the Uber driver. So, and I think the person who even gave the story, it was like a secondhand account saying that the father told them that that's what happened. So who knows? It just sounds crazy, and I really hope that that little girl is brought to safety soon, because I saw the Amber Alert last night.
Yeah, it was Nalani Johnson. She's a female 2-year-old. She was wearing a black shirt and a skirt with floral designs and black sandals. So, if she's not found, hopefully we can find her. A 2-year-old, man, so innocent. I said,
yeah.
These people be having real issues. I don't know how that happens, and the Uber driver doesn't know the parents. But again, that's something that you want to discuss or do with it after you find the child.
Yeah, and then that wouldn't even make any sense for the Uber driver to drive off with somebody's kid, being that the cars are tracked.
Yeah, that's all. But
so the story's kind of like weird. Hopefully we get more accurate details.
Yeah, but I definitely wanted to talk about that for a little bit. But other than that, in the news, nothing really's been going on. That Dave Chappelle, was you able to watch that yet?
I watched most of it, and let me tell you, he does not hold back.
I love Dave Chappelle.
You could kind of like tell where he was kind of like trying to be PC in his previous. Yeah. But he had three.
Yeah. But the one was in PC. I thought the one where he was just sitting there talking.
Well, this one, he is totally like no holds barred.
Super funny.
I was like.
Netflix got what they give him, 60 million?
That's what I heard.
They got all 60 million
nice
worth.
Bag. Ooh, that's a nice bag.
Yeah, well, he gave them their money's worth. Sure did. So good job, Dave Chappelle. I definitely salute you, because that was a good one right there. That goes down as one of the best to me.
Okay. Yeah, that was funny. Somebody else told me to check out a recent one by Mike Epps.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You don't look like you have much to say about that.
It was fun. I mean, Mike Epps, you know what you're going to get from Mike Epps. Sometimes I'll be watching the reviews on some of these comedy specials, but the one white dude said it the best. You know what you're going to get out of Mike Epps. The same person he is on Fridays, the same person he's going to be on his interviews, the same person he's going to be in his stand-up. You know what you're going to get. Like, he's going to be goofy and funny. But Dave Chappelle had you thinking.
He does. Yeah, he has you thinking kind of like along the same lines as sometimes a little bit like Paul Mooney.
Yeah,
but Paul Mooney just don't care. Speaking of Paul Mooney.
So, did the Sun come out and say anything else?
I just saw where TMZ caught up with him real quick, and he really wasn't trying to talk to him. The only thing is when they approached him, he kind of like implied that something went on when he was underage, but he didn't he just said he didn't want to talk.
Their whole little circle of friends look kind of sketchy, if you ask me, back in the 70s, 80s.
But, you know, Richard Pryor allegedly had hookups with men. I don't even know if they were relationships. Definitely. So maybe that was a thing.
That's what I'm saying. Their whole little circle was that drug era. They was just doing anything back then. You know, that's what what's his name was talking about too. What's the Marlon Brando?
And then like when details came out about who wrote a book and said something about somebody wrote
Quincy
a book.
Jones.
Okay, yeah. So I think like Richard Pryor's daughter or somebody was trying to like shut that down. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
what did Marlon Brando's ex-wife say? She said they would have effed anything. They would have effed the radiator if it had a hole in it back then. She's
Oh,
like
because they were
everything
so
was,
drugged up.
yeah, she's like the Coke era. Then it was Hollywood with Coke.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just crazy how you can't live on the same standards as back then. It's a totally different. When the drugs were introduced, it wasn't made for danger. It was made to party.
Yeah, and I think that kind of adds, and people please don't kill me because
Sure.
right is right and wrong is wrong, but I kind of think that adds some context around maybe some of the things that would have happened around Bill Cosby too.
Yeah, but ignorant is bliss.
Mm-hmm.
So the person that was probably trying to school Bill Cosby and telling him it wasn't right back then was the person who everybody he was probably the black sheep, where she probably was the black sheep saying this ain't right to do because everybody probably was freaking doing it. And now that we know
and
the
I heard
knowledge
that.
on it,
I heard that like people did like carry Quaaludes around for recreational use.
yeah, definitely it's the party drug.
Yeah.
It's just so ironic that it was Bill Cosby. You would have thought it would have been somebody like Tom
Mr. Quit
Cruise
sagging
or
your
something.
pants and
Yeah, but to me, you can't. You gotta kill Bill Cosby just because he was a predator. But as far as somebody just said, like, say if somebody said he drugged them, but they knew it, and he didn't have sex with them, then that would be a different story. Like, but I don't know. Bill Cosby just was weird.
yeah.
I still don't know. He still should be able to, I feel like, live out his last couple of years outside of a prison, though.
I don't know. Like Bill Cosby aside, I'm not even gonna go because I feel like his whole case is just so crazy, and the number of women who came forward about him drugging them, like I don't know the context of each circumstance, but like I already told you when we were talking about Cardi B, like it's the point of somebody giving me something to where I can't make a choice that is just completely wrong. If you're rendering me helpless to the point where I can't get away, I can't even scream, I can't even I can't do anything. Like that's.
But see, so I never my era of partying, I never was like a pill pop or anything like that.
Yeah,
but I know, like even my era of partying, I know boys that used to, or even chicks that used to put Molly and different stuff in a bottle of champagne and share it with the opposite sex. Like I know girls that used to do it with dudes, and I know dudes that used to do it with girls. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, it just was what it was. It wasn't like somebody was bitter after or nothing like that, because you know what I mean. They was just tore up. But I never thought that was cute. But that was that was like the Molly era.
Yeah, but doesn't Rick Ross say something about that in the song?
Yeah, he do. That's what I'm saying. Back then, I knew it was wrong, but like I don't know. I don't know. Everybody's like morals is different, but a lot of this stuff is against the law.
Yeah, like I probably had smoked weed a couple of times or something like that, but I mostly like drank. I didn't really get into any other kind of drugs. So
I always tell people I'm a one sport player.
okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I look at it more so like,
but
the time change. We got to change as people now that we know the knowledge and what some of these drugs do to, well, what drugs do to people. Period. Like they mess up your judgment.
But with the times changing, like Dave Chappelle said, is it fair for us to hold somebody accountable today for something that happened 25 years ago?
I feel like if we doing that to Bill Cosby, like what Joe Rogan was saying, we need to start looking at these Fortune 500 companies for reparation of how they got rich off of slavery from our ancestors.
Right.
Like, if you want to do cause and whatever, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You got to do it for each case then. Because Bill Cosby ain't the only one. What about the people who was, what is his name?
But I think holding an individual accountable like Bill Cosby, even though he impacted how many 50 some odd women, or it was a bunch of women. even though he did impact a whole lot of women, holding an individual accountable is different from holding like a whole company. Like, and I'm only saying that because there may be somebody who says that I offended them in some way 20 years ago, and then you try to cut my head off for that. Like, I don't even remember you. But I mean, that's not to say I'm a different person now. You know what I mean? Than I was 20 years ago. So, in order to like ruin my whole life and career,
we'll leave it up to social media. Because everybody said they are a changed person now.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm sure if I was able to, like, if somebody I offended 20 years ago, if I was to interact with them today, they would understand that I definitely am a different person. But you don't know how much I've grown and changed. You're just wanting to crucify me because, hey, she did such and such in 1999. Like...
This is the power of the internet, though. I feel like everything that's going on with all these prosecutions is us as the public coming down on social media and all these other platforms on these people. Like, there's no way R. Kelly, he would have been out of here if there was a social media, like, or just some type of internet where everybody could band together. They put the heat on the, I don't know if it's the district attorney or what, for them to start prosecuting that man, because before that finding R. Kelly or whatever that thing was, nobody wasn't worried about R. Kelly.
And that's the thing that kind of like has me perplexed. Like, we knew 20 years ago that he was doing the stuff that he was doing. We might not have knew to what extent, but we knew that he did have interactions with these young girls 20 years ago. So, you know, now they're talking about he has bags and bags of sex tapes and da-da-da-da. But nobody was really outraged until we saw, what was the documentary called?
I don't know, but Surviving R. Kelly.
Surviving R. Kelly. So we got, oh, this is crazy. I mean,
like we was born yesterday.
I heard people say we knew, but we didn't know. Well, what does that even mean?
But there was a sex tape. There was a sex tape that was out. It was viral before stuff was viral.
Yeah, it was. So, but nobody, like, we didn't have the level of outrage, like, we need justice for this girl, da-da-da-da-da.
You know why, though? Because I want to say, was that in the 90s or was that in the... I think that was in the 90s still.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was the late 90s.
Okay.
When that stuff was going on. But I look at it more so like... That
or
culture,
was it the 2000s?
It might have been the 2000s. It might have been early 2000s. Was that around the time him and Jay-Z was going on tour together? Or was that before? It was before the 2000s.
I don't know.
But the way I look at it is that kind of culture wasn't, I think the groupie, niggas, I don't think niggas was caring about the age of the groupie back then. I'll say that.
Okay.
I think that type of rape culture and all that stuff, it was unspoken about, but I think it happened more than people talk about it.
Yeah, maybe too, because even if you go, like, I was talking to someone recently about this, even if you look at a hood celebrity, they feel like you should give it to them just because they're them, or, you know, they might be bringing in a lot of money from selling drugs or whatever, and all the other chicks want them. So why don't you?
But even
because I just don't.
But even when we talking about hood celebrities, I don't know how it is now, but back in the day, the old head drug dealer used to have a young chick in like 11th, 12th grade. Mm-hmm. So I mean, maybe even 10th grade.
And as the young girl who, you know, I was never involved with a grown man when I was underage. But I do know that when it comes to stuff like that with girls and some guys who are underage, it was like an open secret. Mm-hmm. Like all the young kids knew, oh, he messed with so-and-so or she messed with this one or that one. So no, it was never like we thought everybody knew.
Well, even teachers.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, the teachers didn't go down for it.
Yeah, and that was more like an open secret too.
Yeah, like it might have been talked about, but there wasn't nobody investigating crap.
No.
What's going on with the private investigators?
Or do you think that in that day and time, maybe when it came to teachers, it was something that was so kind of like unbelievable that the grown-ups just didn't put any weight to it? It was just a little rumor the little kids was talking about, the little high school kids were talking about.
I think it all depends on the parents. That's what I think it all depends on. I think it's how hard
what about
the parents go. Like the parents make a big fuss about Johnny and Mrs. Hoffman texting, and she got up to that school and go,
Man, I know we didn't have text back then.
But yeah, that might have been the biggest thing. How could you get caught up unless you're looking at the phone records?
We had pagers.
But they know teachers probably wasn't giving their pager to their kids.
But the kids had pagers. We had pagers.
Yeah. Yeah, but the mom can't check to see who's paging the kid, can they?
No, not unless they look at it and call the number back.
Yeah, so...
I mean, if you're
hey, man, maybe we need to go back. No, not on this because that is a predatorial thing, but there was a lot of discretion back then when there was just like no type of cell phone.
Now, did you notice nowadays there's a lot of women getting caught up messing with young boys?
That's sad though, because a young boy's mind, you can manipulate a young boy's mind so easy.
Yeah, but then you'll hear like different celebrities like Charlemagne, and I heard a couple other people say like they've had, when they were young boys, not even, I don't even know if they were teenagers, having encounters with like grown women, but they didn't really. D.L. Hughley, he said he had an encounter like with somebody who was grown up too, and I don't think they really saw anything wrong with it in the sense of feeling like they were being raped, or you know what I mean. And I know in a lot of young boy circles that can be considered kind of like a badge of honor. You mess with who? You know what I mean? So,
I don't know when you that young. They was super young.
Yeah. Well, maybe when you're a teenager.
Yeah, he could probably be bragging about when he got his he lost his virginity or whatever. Man, I lost my virginity when I'm 8. You was lying. I swear I did.
Right.
So, I mean, when you get that old, you could he probably definitely was bragging about. Then as he got older, he realized that it was somebody taking advantage of him.
That scares me. 8. And
some people out here ain't right. There's some people out here that just ain't right. Like every episode, we always come back to mental health. Like there's some people that just ain't right. Like R. Kelly, how many times are you gonna get? He could have been, if he would have just chilled, he wouldn't have got caught. But how many more times do you got to do it after you get acquitted?
But see, when it comes to mental health, like I feel like people don't take it really seriously because it's an invisible affliction.
Yeah.
Like
until somebody shoot up a school or kill their parents or do something to the extreme, then we want to start examining and start putting a psychologist on TV then.
But a lot of times the writings was on the wall way before that, and nobody.
I think what the problem is the parents don't know. The parents don't know whose kid that is. Like, you don't know if that's your kid or not. That's the scary thing about it.
That's another thing in Dave Chappelle's comedy skit. He was like, yeah, we have active shooters drills. The active shooter is right in here with your kids. So
where are we meeting? Where are you guys meeting?
I was like, you know what? I never even thought about that, but that is true.
So true.
So.
And then, like, you're not following. At least when you're a kid, you're not. But even they was talking about, even on the Joe Rogan podcast, of how dumb that is as far as with the tornado drills and that getting underneath the desk.
I remember.
Or the bomb drills getting underneath the desk.
Well, didn't we? Which one did we went outside for fire drills? But I know we had disaster drills too. But I don't remember what we did.
I thought it used to be mandatory for companies to do the fire thing for you, which is emergency exits and all that.
Well, another scary thing is that they're sending out something saying that we need to watch this video on what to do in the event of an active shooter at work.
What are you gonna do? And you in what floor y'all on?
The first.
Oh, you're on the first floor, so at least that's good.
No, I'm on the first floor, so that's horrible. As soon as they walk through the door, they're coming straight for me.
Fuck out the window and be out.
I can't.
Those windows is probably super hard. You might dislocate your shoulder.
I know. I'm not trying to get out the window before the shooter get me.
Like the shooter went right past y'all. You sit there with a front shoulder.
I know.
Like he ain't even one job. He went to the panini place.
Swear.
But nah, that's scary. That's the only scary thing about working for a public company, man.
Because really, when you when you're going to work, most people don't have real security.
But even
do anything.
But even those type of guns, real security is not going to be able to stop. If it's a trained shooter, real security is not going to be able to stop that until there's more than one person.
And if it's a disgruntled employee, they're not going to be able to stop them anyway because they'll get past the security desk with their legit ID getting in the building.
Yeah, when you start talking about those automatic rifles, man, ain't no security got no type of weapon that could.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. That's the one subject that I feel like you can't win on because it's a mental health issue and it's a gun issue. Mm-hmm. So I feel like both are too out of hand at this point. Both are out in society, and we don't know which houses they're in.
Yeah, but at the same time, do we say, well, they're out of control, so there's nothing we can do about it?
No. If you see a leak and you know you can't fix it, you still want to slow it down. Slow it down until you come to a resolution altogether.
Yeah.
But at this point, there ain't no one thing that you can do to stop either or.
Because if you look at the numbers to the amount of shootings that we have in the United States versus other countries, it's like insanely more.
Because we're giving the people to choose whether you want to be a zombie or you want to deal with these voices in your head. And a lot of people don't like feeling like a zombie. Like there got to be a third choice. But until we get a hold of, and it's crazy, all three places that got something to do with it, we act like we can't regulate anything.
You know
the
what?
NRA, the pharmacies, and the government.
You know what though, and this might sound crazy, but I really feel like we might see an improvement. I'm not saying that it'll make it 100% better.
If Trump get reelected?
No. I feel like we would see a drastic improvement in people's mental health if we improve food options. If you improve food options, get like all the processed food, put less sugar in our food.
Then how are we gonna make money, Sway?
They're killing, I feel like when it comes to processed food, you do understand that like what you're taking in and your gut health has a lot to do with your brain function too.
Oh yeah,
right?
that's your second brain.
So is there any correlation to how bad we eat? Can we tie any of that into our mental state?
You want to know what's crazy? I don't know if it'll directly affect us as the human that's consuming it, but I think it might affect our genes as far as like our
offspring.
Our offspring, yeah. I definitely do think that. Like if I'm sitting up here eating McDonald's every day and doing all that, I do think it's going to have an effect.
Well, it's going to have a direct effect on you now because you're.
I mean, health-wise it will, but mental health-wise, I don't know if it'll have a direct effect on me. But I do feel like it'll slow down some things.
If you pay attention to yourself, because I have had like issues with like like I said on a couple of episodes before, I had to have my gallbladder removed and stuff. So I started like changing the way that I ate. And even with, I haven't completely eliminated meat, but I have, like before, I had to have some meat with every meal. Now there's days where I go without eating meat, and you see like a lot of improvement in your brain, and you have less brain fog. And even with just focusing on eating more fruits and vegetables. Listen, I'm not all the way there yet, y'all. It's my daughter's birthday. Had to have some cake, sometimes. But, I do want to slowly start eliminating a lot of that stuff from my diet, because if you pay attention to yourself, you will see a big difference. And because I felt like I used to have a lot of brain fog, if that's what they call it. But that coupled with, taking different vitamins and supplements and stuff like that, I feel like I'm better. So, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. We might be able to directly tie it into how we're eating.
Maybe. But as a whole, I just look at it, they're not going to do anything because they produce seeds at such a fast rate. What was they called? The super seed or whatever that they've got. All those crops growing at an alarming rate. So.
Well, I don't know anything about that part. I know that mostly everything in the middle section of the supermarket is like bad. So you want to... Did I ever tell you when I tried to do a fast before, like I could not find a salad. I went to 3 different stores and I went to 3 different stores. I think I only found like 2 different salad dressings that didn't have any sugar in it. There's a wall of salad dressing and only like 2 dressings in 3 different stores with no sugar. That was crazy to me. That was kind of eye-opening, because I was like, well, they say that we're all addicted to sugar, but I don't know. You got to be able to find some stuff without any sugar. There's almost nothing in there. Like no, I went to the grocery stores that were more easily accessible to me in the hood. And in those grocery stores, the ones that we spend our money out on a day-to-day basis, everything has some sort of sugar in it, unless you're eating like completely clean. So
definitely they got to put that cut on it. Make sure people buying it for a low price.
Yep.
So spread it out more, putting more cut in it.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was just my thoughts.
But yeah, mental health and the active shooter thing is a direct link to each other, I feel like. But when will they stop it, or when will it at least slow down? Who knows?
I mean, my thing is this, especially when it comes to like gun control and the NRA. Listen, we're all just collateral damage for the politicians who are getting money. There's really, as long as they're getting money, there's really no...
What's the chances of somebody waking up in the morning and just having morals? Like, if they ain't have morals by now, they're not going to have them there. So it's almost like you got to force a change. Or those people got to die just in power, like as far as of old age or something. Then somebody new would have to come in and have some type of moral compass in the heart to know that not having background checks on public sales of firearms is super weird. Like, that's weird.
So,
but everybody needs their rights, right? Can't tell nobody you don't have the right to bear arms. I don't care how sick they are.
Yeah. Everybody needs their
According to these old white men that wrote this bill.
Everybody needs their rights, even if it's at everybody else's expense.
Oh no. We can't go against what these old white men wrote on this paper.
Yeah, God forbid.
Back when they had muskets. Not AK-47. I'm pretty sure if they did, they had AK-47s back there, they would say no one has the right to bear arms.
Right.
Everybody has a right to bear a butter knife. Because at the end of the day, they knew what type of weapons we had out here. They wouldn't be allowing it. And then they still didn't make it to where they're still like, you could go into a sports, like a sports shop and go grab a gun. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Hey. We could talk about this till it's blue in the face. I'm sure this ain't gonna be the last time we talk about this issue, but I'm glad nothing happened this week.
Yeah, so what else?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to the start of the football season, even though you don't watch football.
No, and I will not be.
Mm.
You can go ahead and get up on Jay-Z's slave ship if you want to.
I have nothing to do with Jay-Z.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That Jay-Z's doing is
I'm kidding.
Wrong. But
I'm kidding. We already talked about that the past two, so we don't have to get into that again. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But good. I'm glad that one of your favorite pastimes is coming back. I'll just ask you what the Pittsburgh Steelers record is.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be good this year or not. It's going to be a question mark season.
Because of the loss of Antonio Brown and
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, do you think those two players being gone is going to hurt us tremendously?
I think the resilience, I think it's not going to hurt them tremendously. I think it's going to just help the defense out to game plan. Like, it's hard to game plan for both of those players without compromising another part of your defense. I think it'll be easier for teams to match up with them now. But I do have faith and then, I'm not even a Steelers fan, but I do have faith in their offense to be able to come up with unique ways of moving the ball.
Okay.
But I don't look for them to do too much. I feel like if they make it to the playoffs, the season is a success. If they don't make it to the playoffs, the season is a failure for the Steelers.
Okay. But isn't that how it is for every team?
No, because I feel like my team should win the Super Bowl this year. So anything less than going to the Super Bowl, even if they go and lose, I'll salute them. But if they just make it to the last round of the playoffs.
No, what I'm saying in general, you feel like your team was a success with any team if they make it to the playoffs, right? No?
Not teams that used to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, the Browns, somebody like the Browns will say it's a success. But somebody like the Patriots, their coaches might start getting fired if they just make it to the playoffs. You know what I mean? So for the Steelers, it's kind of like that with the Steelers, too. It seemed like if the Steelers be on the brink of going to the playoffs or not, you'll start hearing about rumors of their coaches getting fired and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But, again, I don't want to harp too much on football, but I really like my team this year, the Chiefs. I think we got a real good chance of winning it all. She's like, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
But other than football starting, I've just been busy working. That's about it. Trying to save money.
Yeah. Well, I have no money to save.
Well, you're accruing money as we speak. From the days you worked last week. That was right, huh?
Oh goodness.
Never, you can never be broke with a 9 to 5. Even if you work at McDonald's, just know that check is coming sooner or later. Probably later more than sooner. But it is coming.
What do you think about that one app that they keep push, or you keep seeing commercials for, where they say, "Oh, you shouldn't have to wait 2 weeks for your money. They should be paying you now." I don't know anything about it, and I can't even remember the name. But do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, Mark Cuban got one like that too. I don't think it's a bad app. I really don't.
I'm just wondering what's the catch, because you're saying that there's no interest. Like, so what is it, like an interest-free payday loan?
It was
Because they are going to need their money back.
you put your information and like your bank information in, so they're pulling their piece out when you get paid regardless. Like,
Definitely.
but yeah, I don't know how they're making their money. I think they're making their money the same way how most apps make their money by you just logging onto their apps and they're able to use your information and sell it to other people. Like, Jessica, I see that you were looking for a home. Like, that might be how they're making their money. Because the one with Mark Cuban, it looked like it was pretty, like, just like put your bank information in and the next date you get paid and how much you want to borrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this just sounds like there's
I
probably going to be a
I
crazy
think it's
catch
just
with
data.
it.
I just think it's data. I think a lot of these companies now, they're selling our data.
So this is the new generation's version of payday loans. We just have to figure out what the catch is, because there's
The data, instead of killing us with the interest, because that's what the knock was on the payday loans, and I guess why they became illegal after a while, because they was killing people for interest rates.
because they're predatory.
Yeah. So I think the difference is they switched it from it being interest to data. Like, how much data are you willing to put in this system?
Because man, listen, the way that those payday loans was set up with the well, I guess there's a whole bunch of different companies that had them, but there was no way, if you you're not getting out from under that interest. You're gonna be paying them unless you pay them. Like,
Netflix got a documentary about that. Like, the one dude went to jail. The one dude who was doing the payday loans. Yeah, he went to jail over that because they had something to where, like, say if you borrowed $200, you were supposed to pay like $320 back, but you thought you was paying, like, say if you ain't paid the whole $320 back and say you only paid like the $200 that you borrowed, and you thought that they was just use like an extra $120. No, you paid all that and it was just going to the interest, and now you still owe like, and then it keep going up every time you're late. So people had like $700 debts when they only borrowed like $200 and stuff.
but even you can tell, like, as far as when it comes to like where these places are allowed to set up shop is strategic, right? So, like, you're not going to see like a whole bunch of payday loan places in affluent areas. So
look, this is how they did it. He set it up under an Indian casino resort. So that's how he was able to get away with it, because he was acting like the base was in like Kansas or something like that, but they was in like a town where you wasn't allowed to do it.
Okay.
And then like all of his information was going to that Indian resort, and like a lot of their laws weren't the same as ours, so they was able to get away with it and not be like under like federal indictment. So like he hurried up and switched it over so he couldn't get arrested. And then everything still ended up falling on him. You gotta watch the documentary. It's a real.
What's it called?
I'll get back to you, because Netflix got so many documentaries. It's one of those ones where it's like a show. It's like episodes. This is one of the episodes.
Okay.
I was like, and it's a real popular payday loan too. You'll probably know the name.
Okay.
But dude's whole family, it's like, we don't feel like we was doing anything wrong. And they sitting up there seizing his like Maserati, all of his cars. He's sitting there crying, like looking like he about to kill himself. Like, they just taking everything out of his house. Like, he's like, I knew they was gonna come take it, but I didn't think they was gonna do it like this. Make me be here while they're doing it.
But see, I feel like they come down on whoever they want to come down to, because ain't nobody came down on the pharmaceutical companies yet for drastically like being. This is something that can keep somebody alive, but you're going to charge them
But now,
exorbitant amounts of money
But now-
for medication. Now, there's laws against that in European countries too.
yeah, because I was about to say now, correct
But
me
for
if
some
I'm
reason,
wrong.
we allow it to go down in the United States.
But the company that's doing it ain't an American company. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's taking long because it's an international issue or what. 'Cause that company's like based out of Canada that's doing that. Just banned up all those companies because what they said is the dude do it like a stock. Basically, he bought the companies so they could profit. You know what I mean? He do it like stock and then raise it because it's gonna raise the stock after he buy. He's gonna raise the price because the demand is still gonna be there, so the stock will rise.
Of course it is, because people want to stay alive.
So basically, because there's a documentary about that, it might be this one the same thing on Netflix. But what they were saying is that the Martin Shkreli dude, the dude that was doing that with the one pill, the dude who bought that Wu-Tang album, basically they said everybody came down on him because it was happening in America. But what he was saying is there's a whole other company that's doing the exact same thing, and then they shut that company. But I think it's like a Canada-based company. They said they've been doing it forever. I was like, that's so sad. You'll see somebody's pill go from being like $5 to something crazy.
Like $65.
I know. And then it'd be like their insurance don't even want to cover it because it's like you're not even paying that much into your insurance.
But that is literally the definition of being predatory on people. And the fact
definitely.
that our government even allows that to go down is another thing that's like shameful.
There should be, just like the doctors, there should be a Hippocratic oath for pharmaceutical companies too. Like it shouldn't be. Business and medicine shouldn't mix.
But they'll have a stronghold on our politicians because they lobby our politicians too, and contribute to campaigns too.
Because they could push for research.
So I mean,
Yeah.
all at the expense of us.
Oh, and that's what they was doing in those countries too. With that company too, is they was buying out the companies and then they was stopping their research funding. So, you know what I mean? They could control how much of the medicine gets pumped out too. So that documentary was good too, and I'm pretty sure it's on the same thing. I'm gonna have to look it up for you.
But once again, here we are. We're just collateral damage for people trapped in being able to line their pockets. So
the business and medicine shouldn't mix with each other.
So guns, drugs, food. What else?
I don't know. The three dailies. Guns, drugs, food.
Yeah.
Sex.
Yeah, but people are paying a lot for sex these days, aren't they? Aren't they paying less now for that than ever?
Are they? They probably for pornography, yeah, but I don't know. Sex is probably higher than ever because of the value of the dollar.
I feel like I read something this year that like the going rate is on average $350, and I feel like that's low.
Shut up. But I don't know. I think that might be higher. I mean, again, the city that we live in, you ain't getting $350.
Well, maybe it's on average across the
Yeah,
United
because
States.
you go somewhere like San Diego, you might be paying a stack.
Yeah, or more.
Or more.
Or New York.
Yeah, they probably got call girls that's like $1,200 to $1,500. Even down in D.C., they probably might be paying close to
because wasn't
$2,000 a night.
Anthony Weiner in New York? He got caught up with the escort service, right?
Yeah, that lady, that's the one that snitched on all of them, wasn't it?
I think so.
I wonder what's going on with her. Is she still alive?
But if you're an escort, then I guess the going rate would be a lot higher, right?
No, because I know a girl that used to escort. I mean, she definitely was making money, but it wasn't like she was getting money like per client, a lot of money per client. She just had a lot of clients. But a lot of times when you escort service, it's not. A lot of times it's not sexual.
Mm-hmm.
It might be like some weird fetish, or they might really need you to go somewhere with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like a pretty woman type.
Yeah. But the one dude I know, he used to just want her to play with her with his feet, and her rate was
How
only.
much she get for that?
I want to say I want to say she was only charging like $150, but he was giving her like 300, just cause.
She played with his feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. I'm in the wrong line of work. Psych. I'm playing.
No.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, I don't know. I just look at it when the strippers started letting dudes pay for it. It messed up the game for the prostitutes.
Yeah, escorts. I don't know. I don't really know much about the biz.
Well, in other news, what else do we got to talk about?
I don't know. Why'd you sit back like that?
Oh, just sit back. I want to sit back.
All right. So, are we done?
I don't know. I guess so. Anything else happen? Nothing happened?
Not that.
Anything this week going on with you?
Coming up?
Mm-hmm. Got a birthday coming up soon.
Yeah, that's at the end of the month, though.
What better way to start than on the 1st?
I don't know. I'm just not one of those. I don't really do much for my birthday anymore. So I don't really have to celebrate all month.
I'm trying to not spend money, but I really want to see Corey Holcomb. I don't know when he comes, but I want to see him. I feel like he's a funny guy.
Did I ever see him? I don't think I ever saw him.
So I think I'm gonna go get tickets to see him.
Well, that'll be nice. I always like a good comedy show.
Yeah. We'll see. Depending on how much the tickets is. 'Cause some of y'all guys that be coming down to improv and trying to charge a lot. And it just, y'all will be funnier than the people that will be charging.
Isn't Jess Hilarious coming into town?
Yeah, she's coming. I want to say she's coming going to Soldiers and Sailors.
She is.
And
have you ever seen her stand up?
Davis, right?
I don't know.
No, I ain't see her stand up, but I want to say I seen something where she was on stage. I seen her do a couple of jokes, and they was kind of funny. And that dude that she's bringing is real funny. But again, he's an internet funny, so I don't know if it's going to translate on stage. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I'm proud of Jess Hilarious because I feel like she transitioned real well. Even though that show she was on didn't work, I feel like she's going to be able to get a good role in Hollywood. I
think that I need to see her stand up because I didn't really think that she was that funny. But
I don't think she's that.
Maybe her stand up is hilarious, especially she has to be popular for her stand up show to be at Soldiers and Sailors and not the Improv. So she has to be somewhat popular. So I'd be interested in seeing one of her stand ups.
Yeah. She got that charisma. I think that's the more than her being funny. I think she got a good, nice charisma with her. Like that energy and that positive energy that she has. I think that she can light up a room with that. So I don't know. I think it might be hit or miss going to go see her whole stand up. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
That always happens to me, especially with people starting out. I think it's hard to do stand up like when you first start out. I think you gotta get your feet underneath you. Cause that's how I was with DC Young Fly too. It was like a couple jokes would be funny, but it's like
that's another person I don't really think is that funny. But I mean, I don't know.
Did you watch I Got the Hook Up too?
No.
You didn't see that?
No.
Oh man. He was funny on there.
There's way too many other shows that I have to watch before I would ever.
I Got the Hook Up too. Shout out Master P.
Yeah, shout out Master P. I like Master P. And you know.
Yeah, he's gonna support him.
I don't want to watch that. I'm not gonna force myself to watch something just because Master P made it.
Was it good?
But actually, if you remember No Limit Days, I didn't like their music either.
I know.
But I like him as an entrepreneur. I think, you know, I like his hustle.
There's a few songs I like from him, but I really like their music all like that.
Yeah.
I was so East Coast back then.
Yeah.
But other than that, anything else?
No.
All right, guys, another week in the books. You're supposed to say like and subscribe now since we're like video recording. Like and subscribe our video below. I think it's below.
On that note, bye.